Hey guys, what's going on? Well, I'm making this video. This is about the Batwibg Swinguards by AGA Campolin. I'm going to be picking up 2 of them. There's a collector who has been kind enough to think of me and get a hold of me, and he's selling a few Batwibgs out of his collection. Please don't write me about that. The people that I've already contacted are lined up for those knives, for the pieces. He's got 5. He is going to hold on to 1, and I'm looking at, I've got 3 in light horn. 1 is a bayonet blade, and I'm looking at 2 stags. One of the knives I'm going to get will be a stag. I do have, I think, 3 or 4 of them, and I really like them. I didn't think I would like stag, but I've had a couple of them, and I really think that they're very good knives. They're also quite a bit more expensive than the horn when you go to purchase them. When I got mine from Angelo, I paid quite a bit more for stag. Angelo gave me a very good deal on these. I got a dealer price just out of his kindness, and you know, I mean, the knives are just absolutely gorgeous. But what I'm thinking, okay, on these blades, I haven't cleaned these. They've got a little bit of grease on them, but you can see the 2010 tang stamp, and you know, that did not, that tang stamp, all the Batwibgs, there have been two series of Batwibgs, 2 runs of them, and then they came out with a diamond series that I didn't really care for too much, because this button is just, it's just gorgeous, and I don't think you can improve on it. I've seen prototypes of the Batwibgs. There's a fellow that goes by the idea of Randy on the knife forums. He does own the prototypes, and he's got one hell of a collection. So many people, but this is geared mainly to the people who are in the know about knives. I've been out of the knife scene for a while. You know, I've been involved with other things, and I just haven't really, you know, gotten around to, you know, to the Batwibg. Well, if there was a Batwibg, I would, you know, I would go for it. It's just all there was to it. But, you know, these are beautiful knives. Stag does have, you know, stag is just that. It's not a perfect, nor is horn. It's not a perfect material, but at the same time, it's a beautiful material. And anybody who, you know, is a knife collector, you know, knows the quality of a beautiful, and the beauty, you know, inherent beauty that stag is. And it does come at a premium. You pay a little bit more for stag than you would for just a regular horn. You know, I wish I could get a hold of, there's one guy that goes by the name of Lars. Lars, if you ever watch this, that ram's horn that you have is just gorgeous. I've wanted that thing for, well, ever since you got it. I pushed Angelo, I don't know how many times, over and over again. You know, I would just keep asking him, you know, what about that ram's horn? What about that ram's horn? He finally said, listen, you know, Lars sent that in, and sent the sent the scales in, and I just did it on a one-time deal. And I just said, alright Angelo, okay. And then he came out with some snakewood, and he came out with some Ambolina. Snakewood couldn't be stabilized. I had him try to do it. He made 3 attempts to fit snakewood onto a bat swing, and he broke, the scales broke during assembly, which was a real shame, because he finally wound up, snakewood isn't a cheap scale to put on, but it does, if it's not stabilized, it does have a propensity to crack. In fact, one fellow that I know who actually makes knives, Switchblades, he just got up one day and he had a snakewood that was just beautiful, and the damn thing cracked, I think from the button all the way down. It wasn't a bat swing, but I mean it was, you know, it was a beautiful switchblade, and it just cracked all the way down. And so, you know, I thought, well, shit, you know, I mean, they look so beautiful. Snakewood would look so beautiful on this if it was just stabilized. And damn, I'm 6 minutes in. I cannot make a video that is short. But anyway, you know, the way I make videos is just pretty much like if you're sitting down talking to me, and that's about the only way I know how to do it. I don't limit things to, you know, 3 minutes for attention spans. So, you know, what you get is, you know, somebody pretty much sitting down and talking with you about knives. And anyway, but yeah, he tried the snakewood, it didn't work. But he tried the Ambolina, it didn't work. But then he got a hold of me and he said, look, I was finally able to stabilize that Ambolina, and it's a burl type wood. It goes by several different names, but actually it's what he calls Ambolina wood. A few people in the knife forum say that that's not the correct name for him, but that's what he uses. So I just went by that. But anyway, I'm off subject. But I'm looking at a few bat swings, and this is a Chris blade. Chris blades came out, I think, at about production number 87 out of the 100 that he ran in the first run of 2010, and he only made a handful. And when I mean a handful, he made probably 5 at the very most. I do have one, and this is it. And you know, it's a beautiful knife. You know, the Chris blade, you know, he said, do you want it sharpened? And I said, yeah, I want it sharpened. You know, sharpen it for me, Angelo. And I'm glad I did, because this is one of the hardest blades to sharpen, and to get it sharpened properly. He sharpened all my bat swings personally, and the ones that I bought from him, he has done a final polish on, and he's actually included the certificate. So he didn't have to do that, but he did, because you know, I worked with him on getting my collection going, and he was very, very good about that. I need to get a hold of him to see how he's doing. I've just been out of the knife game for quite a while now, and but the bat swings came up. I looked at there was one that was a Renzo. I mentioned that in a couple of videos back, and it was a prototype. I put one bid on it, and I knew the seller, or I mean, I knew the buyer who was actually going after it. I didn't want to run the bids up on it, and I thought he might go higher than I probably would, and I just didn't think it would have been right for me to run the bids up, you know, if he's just going to outbid me. And so he wound up with a prototype. That's, you know, that's great, because it does have, when Renzo does a knife, it'll say Renzo. Renzo Pescato on it. I believe there's actually, I'm not exactly sure what the tang, I think it, yeah, it's Renzo Pescato, and then I think it has a sunburst on the tang. I'm not sure. It's just been a while since I've even, you know, been around knives other than just the ones that I have. And but these are dated 2010, and the tangs are now at about production run 83. He ran out. He was just going to do just dagger blades. Well, he ran out of them, and so he had some production blades just sitting around. They were bayonet blades, so he went ahead and he put bayonet blades on quite a few from, well, just about 15 of them, 15, 16 of them. He put bayonet blades on, which, you know, in turn made me have to go back and buy more. You know, I mean, I had to get, you know, one of each. The ram's horn has eluded me. If you ever want to sell that ram's horn, Lars, you let me know. But I'm sure he's pleased with it. You know, he's got one hell of a collection. These guys that I talk about and that I mentioned in the videos, man, you want to see some good collections? Krager 55, check him out. Craig's got some just absolutely killer switchblades. Satch, let me see who else. There's just a lot of them. Doorman is another one who I remember Andy from back in, they used to have websites. That there was one website, I forget what it was called, maybe it was Blade Auction. I think that was what it was called, Blade Auction. And I remember going head to head with him, and it got to the point to where, you know, every knife I saw, he was after, because I mean, you know, he was definitely into really, really wicked knives. And it got to the point to where I just, you know, when I'd see him bid on it, I'd just say, screw it. You know, I mean, the bids are just going to go up, and, you know, I don't like running bids up unnecessarily, but I knew he was going to wind up with them, and most of the time he did. And he's got some ferocious knives. But these Batwibgs, I'm just trying to figure out, you know, this crisp blade, I think they only made 5 of them. 5 of them in 2010. They could have made 3, but I've got a chance to get one with a crisp blade, and it's stag, and it looks exactly like this. But I also have a chance to get them in either light horn, dark horn I've got enough of. Light horn I've got 3 of. 2 with a bayonet blade, no, 1 with a bayonet blade, 2 with a dagger. So I'm just trying to figure out, what do you guys think? You know, if you were going to get a Batwibg Swinguard, you know, and I'm talking to people like John, there's just all the people who are on the blade forums that know me, you know, that I've talked to, you know, Free the Army, Crittenden, you know, kind of give me your, and you know, the other people I talk to as well, give me your thoughts on this. What do you think about picking up another one in Chris, as opposed to picking up one that isn't so rare, that's a dagger? I like the dagger grind, you know, I mean, it's just so, you know, I mean, it's just so straightforward. But the crisp blades I'm not that crazy about, but at the same time, they're rare. And I'm just not sure which one to get. And 14 minutes on just talking to you on a video, shit. You know, if you made it this far, congratulations. But anyway, give me your thoughts on it, because I need to make a decision. The deal's already, you know, hammered out. All he's doing is waiting on me to make a decision, and the ball will be rolling. So, also, there's the other people I've already lined up for him to pick up. I know one for sure is going to pick up one of them. So that's going to be 3. And there's going to be one that I think there's a fella that just is starting his collection. He knows who he is, and I'm not going to divulge his ID because I don't want people hammering him with, you know, with emails and things like that. But you know, he's going to have the 4th one, and this collector is going to be keeping, and everybody knows this collector who's in the knife forums. He's going to be keeping one, and he doesn't care which one he keeps. But let me know about what you think about the crisp blade on a bat swing. You know, do you think it really looks ugly? Do you think it looks cool? Do you think it, you know, it would be, I know it would be unique, but you know, when you're tied to a line that is so cool as, you know, these daggers are, you know, they really make, you know, they really make these bat wings just look so damn wicked. And I just don't know if a crisp blade pulls that off. You know, it does have its own little charm, but I just don't know if it pulls it off enough to, you know, to choose one over the other. So let me know, guys. Take it easy. That's it. Sorry it's so long, but you know, I just thought I'd throw it out there. And later on, guys, take it easy.